they also pretend that it travels in all the same trajectory, and this thing just scoops everything up. And then it has a claw that can grab big pieces of space debris, and then little pieces of space debris get caught in the sides by panels. Of course, there's no in-between. Do they catch the middle-sized pieces of space debris with the box? And then debris drone 1 does not send the package down to Earth to get incinerated. No, the whole thing goes down to Earth to become incinerated, and it's fucking useless. So, because they say there's over 500,000 pieces of space debris, they have to send thousands of space debris drone 1s. But the important thing about this is the camera. They show you a camera on this satellite drone. So somebody is operating that claw, and they're getting this space junk. Why can't you see the video from this camera? This thing has a camera. Wouldn't you like to see this thing in operation? Here's a beautiful detailed image from that model. You can see that huge swirl of clouds between Australia and Africa, and there it is on the model. And the crazy thing about this is when you type Earth from space in the image search, Earth from space, not NASA composite computer model of the Earth, literally Earth from space, which means you want to see pictures of the Earth from space in the image search. These images will come up over and over and over again, and the sick thing is, they show this model in documentaries about space. They show this to you. The same model with the same clouds. They don't even change it. Here's a picture of Jupiter and the Earth. It's not a real picture. It's an illustration. But see, it's the Apollo 17 image of Earth. It's over 40 years old, and they still use it for illustrations in modern times. Here's another image that somebody put together, and they used the Apollo 17 image of Earth from space, which you've been seeing literally your entire life over and over and over again. And your kids, as they go to school, they see this image in their science books. There it is used again. In modern times, it's over 40 years old. It's going to be 50 years old soon.
How do you brainwash? Well, you repeat it. You repeat the same thing over and over again. You know, if somebody's resisting the concept, if you keep fucking repeating it, after 6 times, they'll incorporate it in their brain. They may not agree with it, but repeat it another 1,000 times, they'll start saying it. It's funny, back in the 60s when they went to the moon, this is the first time we actually had like an instrument of flight to actually go high enough to actually fucking check out if what we agreed to 500 years ago was real. So if they were wrong after 500 years, the question is, what'd they tell you?
Bouncing, obviously, you know, with something's helping him a little bit, right? Lifting up a little bit higher.
I know the footage.
Yeah, as he artfully goes behind a small rock, all of a sudden he takes this huge leap, right? And there's a trampoline on the other side of that rock. That's what's going on there. So Kubrick is using wires, he's using trampolines, he's using slow motion, he's using anything he can to put forth the effect.
Here's like a perfect example of them landing on the moon. I mean, it's proof right there. This is an official NASA photo of the first Apollo 11 lunar module landing on the moon. I mean, it's right there. This is proof, man. It's the picture's right there. It's landing on the moon. But the only problem I have with this picture is that it's taken from the moon. I don't know what the big deal was with being the first guy on the moon. It seems the camera crew was already there.
A warning about a cult of pedophiles.
He was trying to warn.
Yes. It starts with Lolita.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it goes all the way through to Eyes Wide Shut. It's constantly trying to warn us that there's a cult of people trying to take our children.
It's the cult, and it's here.
It is the cult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're at work, and they're not going to stop. They're relentless.
Oh, no. They've got less to fear now than they ever had. They own the judges, they own the courts, they own everything.
They are on the
they are literally
final switch.
That's right.
From there, that point of view I've never seen, and it's funny when you click on Google Images, photo of the Earth, keep going. Because this is realistic. But you'll see 40 pages on Google. But it's always the same fucking photo. It's the same photo. They just changed the contrast. Check it out, keep going. Oh yeah, boom, 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 40 pages. Look closely. It's always the same. Oh, what is that? I guess this is a photo of the Hubble telescope taking a picture of itself. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's an authentic photo of the Hubble telescope out there doing its job. Isn't that amazing how they could take a photo of the thing taking photos? Out in outer space. Unbelievable. This is a moon they discovered off of Mars. Opie Papa, and if you do a close-up on it, you see all the craters and the texture of the moon on my shirt. There it is. It's just that. It's just a bunch of paint. Next image. And they actually came up with a new term for it. It's a collisionary supernova. Unbelievable that they actually caught this. If you get a zoom in on this, there's a zoom in that Hubble did on this. These are actual fucking suns being formed. Unbelievable. Look at this. All these fucking suns. Can we get another? Keep going. And they're being formed on a Christmas tree.
Yeah, this all results from, the early 50s when they studied in the MK Ultra programs. They were studying how to influence people and how to get them to do what they want you to do. And, and that's when it began. It began with, in the early 50s and reached the turning point in the 90s. And now we're in this place where they're going to start enacting the most absurd thing. And we're not going to be able to stop them. And for sure they're going to come and take the guns. And to me, it looks like a fait accompli. It's coming. It may not be next year, but it's coming. We're all going to be outlaws. Anyone with a gun is going to be an outlaw very soon.
Sure.
And we have to decide what that means.
And the youth get thoroughly terrorized and brainwashed by all of this as well. They can't see through the lies because they've been lied to their entire life. This is all that they know. I made it to the moon, now on to Mars! And she's kind of famous now when it comes to NASA. This 13-year-old wants to be the first person to live on Mars. Never mind the fact that it's incredibly ridiculous to believe that they would be sending people to Mars. If people love science, they would figure that out. They would look into what it would mean to go to Mars. Like, what would it take? What would it be like traveling to Mars? But then you got articles from SpaceX talking about they could send people to Jupiter's moon, so naturally nobody uses their brain. They think all of this is just a road trip. It's not a big deal.
Oh, this is amazing. We just went to Mars. Hey, big round of applause now for the Americans go to Mars. And this is the official image of them landing there. It's fucking funny. It's like, isn't it amazing how they were landing there and they already had an airbrush artist with his easel set up to paint it, land that quick. It's unbelievable. How many people think this is real? This is the official landing. Oh, then they got another one with a metal sort of pipe and sand in black and white. That's proof. They were there, man. They're landing on the sand. Check it out. That's it. There you go. Some more images. This is what they're doing on Mars right now. Moving around with their little rover. That's a real photo. Look at that. This is another. I swear to God, they're on Mars right now. Look at that. This thing's moving around. I don't even know what it does. It's like a weird sort of sample collector. It's a spider. It's a spider sampler. It's a spider sampler. Sand sampler. It's a sand sampler. It's getting spice. It's getting spices from Mars.
Everybody just accepts all of this because they don't know of the criminal global control. They can't question this. They don't know that there's anything wrong. If you're in a vacuum, wouldn't you balloon? You have the vacuum of space pulling on your spacesuit. They show you videos of where you can put your hand in the gloves in a vacuum chamber and see how hard it is to articulate the fingers and move your hands in these gloves. Yet they do spacewalks in space all day long, and they have no trouble handling tools, handling small pieces with these gloves. They have the vacuum of space pulling their fingers apart. No, they have no trouble at all. In real life, they would actually be doing training for spacewalks, also in a vacuum. Why don't they put people in a vacuum here on Earth? Is it because it's dangerous? If you're expecting these people to go into outer space, which is the most hostile environment imaginable, because you got Space debris traveling at 17,500 miles an hour orbiting the Earth that can kill you? Doesn't matter what size it is. It could be smaller than a grain of sand. If it flies through your fucking body, you're dead. And they talk about micrometeorites. They talk about damage that's done to the International Space Station. This stuff is supposed to be traveling at incredible speeds. If it hits you, you're dead. And then they got radiation in space. Oh, but does the spacesuits protect you from the radiation? How on earth can spacesuits protect you from anything? It is cartoon physics, and the people just buy it. It's a cartoon reality. They want you to believe you can do that in a vacuum. You can hold power tools like that and work on a space station that needs maintenance on the outside while the vacuum of space is pulling your hand apart. How fast would you get tired? Why is this Muppet straining? There's the new spacesuit we got, Buzz Lightyear, Disney, Walt Disney bullshit. Again, why can't you have a vacuum on Earth, put the guy in the vacuum, have him lift up the rock so he can see what it's like to be on Mars? If you need to simulate zero-G, put this guy on harnesses, but let him experience the vacuum. Let him pick up the rock in the vacuum. Those videos would exist in real life if this was real science. They would actually be doing that. It wouldn't just be spacewalks are done in water tanks for training. That's fucking ludicrous. And if we could also wake up to the public to the fact that there should be video of an Earth eclipse from the moon, video that would have existed a long time ago if NASA actually did work in space, well, NASA would magically put fake video out there because they can't cover all their bases and they don't want people waking up to their fraud. All you have to do is investigate NASA and think about what should exist. If the space programs were real, what would we be shown? What would be the real science? Wouldn't they test the satellite technology in a vacuum? Wouldn't we have those videos? When you are supposed to believe that countries all over the world have their own satellites. Of course, if satellites were the size of school buses back in the 70s and they evolved all the way down to CubeSat satellites that could fit in the palm of your hand, of course you would have those videos. Of course you would see those test videos. But no, you got nothing. Where are the videos of a vacuum chamber and some technology whizzing around on a string showing that the satellites can be propelled in a vacuum? Doesn't exist from any country, anywhere. It's all cartoon bullshit. You have to question what you were told and you have to look into things because you're being lied to every single day, and the fraud of our criminal global control